Today is an episode that is absolutely probably going to be one of my best episodes. Well, I'll try and make it one of my best episodes ever because it's talking about something that's pretty unbelievable. Something that's had one of the biggest impacts on my life, my friends, my family. And today, ladies and gents, in Simon's Universe of Music, we are talking about the album What's the Story? Morning Glory. This is truly unbelievable. Talking about this album being 25 years old, for it to have the impact on the music world, my life, my friend's life, for fans, for everything that album has given us, for the 12 tracks and the B-sides that band has made, is absolutely, truly one of the greatest things ever. I was 15 when the album came out. The last couple of days I've been thinking about obviously this album, and is it one of the greatest albums of all time? Yes, I do believe it is. Each track on that album specifically has an impact on people that love the band, love the music. For everything that this gives people is truly one of the remarkable things in music, for it to be one of the greatest albums of all time. It has the 12 tracks that are absolutely pinnacle, maybe to Oasis and their career, and after definitely maybe with this coming out and having 2 nights at Networth with 250,000 people. Sadly, I wasn't there. I was just a bit too young. Well, I'm sure there was a lot of young people there, but I wasn't there at the time. But for the 9 times that I saw that band, believe me, the impact of this and the album before that, what it has done to my life, has made me sort of the person that I am today. My hair, my look, wearing a pretty green t-shirt, my views on life. This album has everything about it to give people so much joy, so much love, so much happiness, for when people have got married, for when people have had birthdays, Christmas parties, you name it. This album has done a lot for the band as a whole, with Liam and Noel at the time making this album with Bonehead, Griggsy and Alan, with all the carnage going on in the studio, with, going to the pub, getting pissed up, having fights and smashing people around the head with cricket bats. I mean, that's absolutely crazy and bonkers, and that's how it was at the time for that band being in the 90s. And I'm sure, there will always be stories come out about this album from them brothers and from that band. But believe me, the impact of them making this music for the fans, it's the fans around the world is what I really think of. It's not just about them bringing out records and, buying it and putting it on and thinking it's the greatest thing in the universe. Being with my mates, literally going in the car, places, shopping, everything, with that album playing. Going out, going into Birmingham, going to Snubs, hearing tracks off that album, going to the gigs, hearing that album. When you listen to this, it's like your team's 3 or 4-0 up, and you can't get better than that. For tracks that are on this album, Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, Champagne Supernova, She's Electric, Roll With It, Hello. Some might say, people will talk about tracks that they love, and everyone's obviously got their different opinion on what they like and what they think's good, and all Oasis fans will always talk about, what's important to them, and everyone's different. Everyone's got their own different opinion on different tracks and what they mean to them. But that's the most special thing about Oasis. When they were playing together and people went, and just having that feeling of when they're playing that song. How many people love the same song? How many people love that track? You know what it means to me, but what does it mean to you? And I think with this, you know, it's an album that you can put on in the morning for when you're going to work, if you're going on holiday, if you're going somewhere, if you're doing something. It's a sort of album that you can have tracks going on in your head of thinking when you're going into like a meeting, and the energy it gives you. Because I do think one of the most important things about this band is the singer. And with the singer, with Liam, and the attraction of that band, the pinnacle point is just he had absolutely everything in that time of him being on that stage and him having them vocals to absolutely nail them tracks. He absolutely smashed it out the water. He nailed it. He had the words that he just, with Noel having them lyrics to give to Liam, for Liam to absolutely smash it absolutely big time for millions of people around the world, you know, South America, Japan, Australia, America, to have that power in that voice, for him to sing them songs on this album is absolutely something that still to this day and will be forever absolutely incredible. Very lucky. I mean, some families have one celebrity and that's great, but to have two people that are very special, and I say this with love, with me being a fan of Oasis, there's nothing different between the two. Sometimes things have to give, and sometimes you have to listen, and sometimes you have to know when to shut up. And when you shut up and when you listen, yeah, and start pushing each other's buttons, then hopefully in one way or another things will try and work out. With this, for it to be at the time, and obviously for it to come out and people to be talking about it, is absolutely sensational. It gives you a real buzz, and to have that buzz like 25 years down the line of being a 15-year-old kid, but putting this on and still having a feeling of, you know what, I am going to get up today, I am going to have a good day, I'm going to do something really good, I'm going to make someone really happy. And it is the sort of album that you can put on in the morning, but also it's the sort of album you can put on when you're going to bed, or if you're out somewhere and the chill time, and to be with someone that you love and you care about, you can put it on and think like, you know what, this is amazing, this is the best album that I'm listening to. That's how important this album is. It's an album that I will always play. It's an album that I will always speak to people about. Getting this when I was 15, I know when I got this, and obviously that is my original, and it's got a crack in it. So I got myself obviously the other one, but all my singles here of the album, I got that when it came out. The Don't Look Back in Anger one, obviously that's all knackered, and yeah, there's that. Don't Look Back in Anger, and I bought that in our price in Bromsgrave. I got the Wonderwall single, that was in Bromsgrave, and I mean, I saw Oasis 9 times, right, and I've seen Noel 10 times with the Birds, but I'm not talking about the Birds today. It's all about Morning Glory. And the singles, with the Wonderwall single, with Round Our Way, Swamp Song and Master Plan. I mean, for the 12 tracks on that, but also the other tunes that were being written at the time, it is just absolutely pretty something. With, I think I brought that in Mary Hill. Was it Mary Hill or was it in Norwich? May have brought that in Norwich. The Roll With It and Better People, Rocking Chair and Live Forever. Yeah. There's that. And some might say, I can't remember, I think I paid like £5 for that. But my nan was coming to stay with us at the time that this came out in October, because I think my mum and dad were going on holiday and my nan was going to stay with us for a few days. But she brought me this album. And obviously when you're 15 and this is out, and for what you're into, seriously made me hooked. I was seriously hooked in it. How does an album come out so good? So good to have real, huge, massive tracks on this, you know? To have pinnacle tracks like Don't Look Back in Anger, like Wonderwall, like Champagne Supernova, and She's Electric. You can Cast No Shadow. You can go through the whole list. Everyone that went to Networth, and for what this album meant to people, is truly something. And what I really seriously love about this is for what it means to have moments with people and music, because I think that's what just makes it mega. I mean, you can listen to Liam and Noel, what they say about it, and Bonehead and Gwig. Well, you won't hear Griggs or Alan, but you'll hear literally Liam, Noel and Bonehead talk about this, I'm sure. And recording it at Rockfield, Wales, with Owen Morris being part of a genius as well, I suppose, to it, with the producing of it. But the tracks that Noel had, I mean, Tony had gone, Alan had come in, and even the B-sides of how hard Noel was working on it is just truly unbelievable. It really seriously is. And I don't think a band, and I mean this, I don't think a band came close to having the same impact as Oasis. For doing my channel, I suppose this album has a big part to play in it, because it's got me to this point. It's got me to a point of the attitude of this album, and the songs and the singer pretty much having self-belief. And this is another thing that I suppose this album gives people, is self-belief. Believe in yourself. It has power in this album, especially when they were playing live. For them tracks like Morning Glory to have that sound, them riffs. And the other interesting thing about this is just like how many people, when this album came out, went and bought themselves a guitar. Who went and bought one? Because, you know, you can all put your hands up, and I know there's millions of people out there that did. Obviously to think like, my God, that's so freaking cool. You know, I want to achieve that. I want to achieve that. I want this. I want to be like this. You know, which is pretty something. The impact of music, people going out and buying instruments, if it's a drum kit, if it's a guitar, if it's a bass, you know, or if you want to be a singer and you want to dress and cool and have the hair and everything and be like Liam Gallagher, which, you know, there's millions of us all striving to be like that man, because at the end of the day, he is pretty magical and he's pretty something and he's pretty goddamn cool. So, yeah, the frontman had everything about them vocals that he delivered for them to obviously win the awards they did on this album with the Brits, and I'm sure the NME Awards that they done, and for the tours they did, like Earls Court, Networth, even when they were playing Main Road. It was through this album that had absolutely the thing where it took over everything in the music world in this country, and for people and for moments and memories and everything. For when this came out and for how it grabbed us, it was just like the magazines, the newspapers, you were just waiting for the follow-up, because obviously through this you had the breakup of Noel walking away, and then obviously going on to create Be Here Now. But for this time period, from 95 to 97, and selling the album to how much it sold, this seriously had everyone. You can go on about the album and say how incredible it is, but for it to be 25 years old and have still the feeling that it is everything. With Noel doing his bit on YouTube talking about this, going into the studio, bringing back memories of obviously doing this and having crazy times, working their asses off, and 12 days solid, so they say, putting this together. 12 days working together with things happening, fallouts happening. Noel's right exactly with what he says. They were an indie band, they had the songs, they put it together, this came out, and the rest is history. And still 25 years down the line, we are talking about this album, how good it is, how amazing that band is, and everything great about a British band that just makes people happy within their lives. It deserves every bit of recognition that comes its way. And there's no doubt about it, for the fan that I am, I think for the millions and millions of fans around the world that obviously have this and what it means to them, that's what makes it so special. The songs, the people, and just what it meant when they were playing these songs live, for people to be together, to have them moments, is pretty much something. The world gets back to normal, people can go out and live a normal kind of life. I'm sure a lot of people will put this on in the future, and when people can go out and do things, I know in the summertime and at parties in the future and at weddings and that, this album will still make me love my favourite band even more, because it starts to hit home with how good the album is. I've read the comments on YouTube about obviously with Liam, not being there and everything. Well, maybe it comes down to Sony and the publishing and the way the deal was with the band, and obviously with the thing between them two brothers. Hey, we don't know. It was put together. Noel done his bit. Hopefully at one stage in the future, we can see him together talking about stuff, maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. But one thing's for sure, for the impacts of the last couple of days with people going on about this really is a buzz. It's massive. It's just absolutely incredible. I've been so looking forward to talking about this. When I saw the trailer that Noel did, right, ready for obviously, the chat about this, it was just like the buzz. It was really, really good and still makes me love this band so much. I can't stress about it enough. They just are something to me. And I can go on about myself, but what I really love and what I really love seeing is really what it means to the fans, people around the world, Simon's Universe of Music, and what everybody thinks, because people are still talking about this band now. And it's just like last year I went to see Noel at the Palladium, and I was sat not far from his wife Sarah, and as Sarah was coming up the stairs I went over to her and I just said, I've come on my own, I travelled from Birmingham and that, but I just want you to know that your husband is the greatest inspiration to me. And she was like, thank you very much, that's really kind of you to say. And I was just like, yeah, cheers. And I've met Paul Gallagher in The Sun on the Hill in Birmingham. So I've met a couple of members of the family. I haven't met Liam or Noel. Maybe one day it will happen, but who knows. I hope people take on board what Noel says about making What's the Story, because it takes seriously hard work, it takes serious imagination, and it takes melody and vocals and just having that creativity to think like, you know what, I want to make this the best for everything that you do. And that's what Oasis want. They just want to be the best. They was the best and they had self-belief. That is exactly what everyone in Simon's Universe of Music needs to do, is believe and want to be the best, with whatever you're doing, because that was Oasis' message. And that is what's made me a fan of that band for so many years. As in, like, when you believe in yourself and when you get up in the morning and have happiness and love and being with someone that you care and you love, to have love, passion and believing in one another. And that is what Oasis had, and that is why everybody went, because of the self-belief and the passion that made you want to see that band. For the times that I've sat outside Birmingham all night waiting for 9 o'clock in the morning to get that ticket, for the time that obviously, the ticket line came on and you were there, literally, gotta get it, I need it, I need to be there. And it's because of that album, having them tracks, that made me, for the 9 times that I saw them, I had to be there. I had to be there just to hear them songs and just to see them and just to see the singer. See the singer and for him to deliver everything that was so incredible about that band. To see Noel obviously plays guitar, plays riffs and just do his bit, I saw Gam and I saw Andy, and Zach and obviously Chris and Alan at the beginning. But just to have them moments, and even for fans back in the 90s where they were seeing them at Network, when they were seeing them at Main Road, where they were going to Earls Court, and seeing them when What's the Story came out, that is absolutely unbelievable, and it is something that will live for people for the rest of their lives. And that is exactly what Oasis wanted to give to people, for you to have something to treasure for the rest of your life. And that is what the Story Morning Glory will do. It will be treasured in the music business for ever, and you cannot not get better than that. It is something that I well and truly love and cannot get enough of. And when you hear them songs, and I mean, my personal opinion for in the future, whenever it will be, how will people think of Oasis and what their best songs are? Well, I honestly truly believe, and this is just my opinion, I don't know what the rest of the Simon's Universe of Music thinks, when you have Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger, with them two tracks being on that album and being really successful tracks. Not forgetting, obviously, when Roll With It came out, and obviously Country House came out, and all the mayhem with that was pretty unbelievable with What's the Story, Morning Glory. Them and Blur, carnage. But for Noel obviously doing his bit, swearing and everything, I would, but I haven't. I hope everyone has really enjoyed Simon's Universe of Music episode on Morning Glory. I hope everyone's enjoyed watching Noel talk about the album. There's lots more content coming out down the road, and this is something that I was really seriously really excited about. Really excited about talking about, obviously, this album and the power of the album and every single thing about it. The tracks, the band, the memories with mates, obviously being like 15, 16 when you start going out doing things that you shouldn't be doing, and obviously you're singing them songs like Champagne Supernova. For times when you've been out and you hear, like, you know, She's Electric and Don't Look Back in Anger and Roll With It and Hello, and some might say, yeah, everything about that album is truly seriously unbelievable. So for whoever's out there watching Simon's Universe of Music, I thank you very much. Please subscribe. I've got loads more videos coming out. Please put your thumbs up. Thank you very much for everyone that's sending us music and that. And I will get to the stage of obviously promoting people, helping people. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers now. Bye bye.